don't know why. For the love of that girl, can never fall. It can never run dry. For the love of that girl, creeds are gone now. There's no question.
We are live again. See if anybody joins. I'm trying to find out where I am. What the hell is going on with this? Hello. Thank you for coming back. I don't know what's good to do right now. I'm trying to find the live stream on my channel. I've got it on Streamlabs. At least I can chat. Right. Anybody else is here? Hello, hello. Oh, here we go. Hello, hello. Okay, I think I've got everything up and running again. Sorry, I got disconnected. My internet just decided to stop working. Get this out. And move it over to that. There we go. Okay. Right then. I think we're back. Hopefully it works better this time. Oh, no, don't want that, don't want that. Okay, welcome back everybody. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Okay. Oh, I was going to make an announcement as well. Now I've got to wait for everybody to come back. You're working on the internet cable that is in the ocean until the 16th. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense then. Castle, I know solar flares were about on Friday. I don't know if that's affecting the stream. No, I think it's Yolandi was just saying it's the internet cable. They're working on the internet cables that run from between countries. Celeste, I tend to be a folklorist when it comes to studying different cultures and magic. Cool. And Andrea, hello, 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 hello. Oh, wait, that's what I was doing. I was looking for the as a playlist. Playlists. Which cool. Here we go. Okay, now if my mouse will just work. Here we go. Right. Yolandi at Castle. Not sure if you saw their reply. Not having much luck with computers today. Alright, welcome back. Thank you, Richard, and everybody. Andrea tried to explain you restarted, but don't know techie terms. I got disconnected and reconnected. There you go. That's techie. Yeah. Alright. Let me give you my announcement for anybody who's interested in necromancy and death magic, and there's also some ancestral veneration included. On Witch Academy, let me put the, I'll put the URL in the chat and pin it if anybody's interested. On witchacademy.online, I am going to be releasing the this new course, which I've been speaking about for ages. I've just been taking me ages to record, edit, and everything else because it's a bit of a monster. It was going to be, I'm splitting it as well. I'm going to make various different, or make it available for different price brackets, so more people can actually get access to it. So if you want the full video, so you can hear me talk, you can also download PDFs of each module and follow along. You can make notes on it, whatever you need to do. And then you've also got the practical exercise at the end of each module. There's 7 modules to the whole thing, and then the 8th module, or the final module, is 15 recorded guided meditations. You can go through a variety of different things. There's a meditation for guiding you through shadow work with, working with the dead. There's one where you go and tend the garden of the dead. There's one where you go and do ancestral healing, etc., etc., etc. So that's the full course: videos, text, recorded meditations, everything. It was going to be 120. I'm making it 80 because it's not as long as, after editing, it's not as long as I thought it would be. So it's going to be $80. Then what I'm going to do is include another course separate to that, but it's the same, where you don't get video, it's text based. And then you'll get on the module 8, you'll get the recorded guided meditations. But you don't get the video and the audio for the modules and the lessons. It's all text based. That's going to be $40. Okay. Then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put everything into a book. So you'll be able to get a print copy of that. I don't know what the price of that might be, about $25. After I've put it all together and uploaded it, I can find out the cost of the print cost, and then I can put a price on it. But it usually works out to $20 to $25. And then there will be obviously an ebook version, which I will sell through my site. It'll be a PDF, which will be like $11.50. Obviously the books, you don't get the recorded audios. And if you subscribe to Everand, you can get the books there. So, right. So that's the announcement. Jono's here. Hello, Jono. You missed everything. Alright, so let me get back to the chat now. No, I don't know that. It's best, I'll have to look into that course. I mean, I've really, there's a hell of a lot in it, I've got to say. It's like, when it comes to necromancy, death magic, ancestral veneration, all of the aspects. Grief counselling, I'll really go in depth into grief counselling, but it's mentioned, obviously. It's all part of that death magic aspect. Shadow work, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, it's very interesting. Right, Andrea, Yolandi, fancy meeting you. Andrea had to go. Neighbours have asked me over. Have fun. I'm sure you've gone already, but have fun anyway. John, hello, John. Show good travels. Right, there we go. We're at the end of that again. Yeah, YouTube's still telling me I've got shitty internet, but let's see what this says. Meh. Drop frames is really not that bad, so looks like we're doing alright. Oh, Andrea's still here. Thanks to you next to Covenstead. Alice is still here. Oh, okay. Hello, Alistair. Let me go back to here because I'm old and I can read this one better. If we can actually go there. Why is not everything so slow? What's going on? Celeste, yeah, I've been doing that with my therapist. I got oops, what? Oh, got curious about my magic interest. That's good. That's good. A lot of some countries, it's like really bad to mention any of the stuff to your therapist. But yeah, if you are able to do that, that's a benefit. That's huge, huge benefit. Glad you can do that. Jono, sorry about misidentifying your rosemary. Love that. Yeah, you've been carrying on about my rosemary for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and I say I'm going to take a picture, and then you want to know if it's tarragon. That was funny, actually. Richard just realised we are on episode 50. Happy half centennial. Yeah, I guess it's actually 49. Because last week we had to skip. I just can't be bothered to relabel everything. We'll just make it the 50th anyway. Bubba, do you think Jesus likes the church? I don't think so at all. You know, they all carry on about, oh, it's going to be Jesus is coming back, and I think if Jesus came back, he would be horrified. He would just shit all over them. There are some Christians who do follow the teachings of Christ. I'm not going to say, you know, like give a blanket statement. But there are some Christians who do follow the teachings of Christ. But the church in general, no. They have no idea what they're doing anymore. Seriously. Harry, episode 50 of Stupid. Yes, it is indeed. Right, okay. I think we've got everybody back on now. Celeste, I experienced some wild trauma during the panic era. When was the panic era? Was this the was this the pandemic? By any chance? I think it would be. I think a lot of people experienced trauma during the pandemic. God, it wasn't a good time. Oh, satanic panic. That was a long time ago. I mean, that was when I was a child, actually. Going into a teen. When was that? Was it? Did it go into the 90s? I can't remember. Ivan, hello Ivan. Thanks for joining. Oh, Jono, Jesus threw the fucking tables over. It's the priests who got him killed. So no, Jesus wasn't a fan of the church rule. Yeah, I must actually try and find that passage. Apparently, Jesus actually speaks against organized religion. Was not a fan of organized religion at all. Oh yeah, it was the 1980s. Yeah, I was a teen. In many parts of the world by the late 1990s. Okay. Although I was in South Africa, I'm not sure if we actually saw much of that in South Africa. I know it was a huge big thing in Socio North America. Yeah. Richard, wasn't the Satanic Panic around 30 years ago? I remember it from the school days. Yeah, 80s to late 1990s. Andy, I have actually, sorry, coming back to Richard, how affected were we by that? Because I don't remember it that much at all. Landy, I haven't old Dutch family Bible and an old English family Bible. The English one is 2 books. One for the Old and one for the New Testament. How can all that fit in today's Bible? Well, that's the thing. I mean, you go back to the original Jewish Bible. That's a whole, like a shelf, an encyclopedia length book. It's just multiple books. That's just what they consider to be the Old Testament now. It's so much removed from it. And that's why when they started putting all the Christianity together and stuff, I mean, they came together, and there were a load of people came together, and they kind of decided which parts to include and which parts to leave out. All of the canons, and there were thousands and thousands of texts, and they just decided to construct it that way. So it's definitely not all there. Harry Lee, how important are the full books of the Occult of Agrippa to learning about the Ars Goetia? I wouldn't say the occult books of Agrippa are just general magic knowledge. They're good to read. They're good, very important to read actually. But as far as the Ars Goetia goes, I don't think there's much of a relationship really. Ivan, have you had any experience working with Andras? I haven't worked with Andras, no. Just call him up. I'm just going to call him up quickly. The page on my website, not the actual spirit. I remember. No, it's not on here yet. I need to finish this bloody Lieber Diamond. Yeah, but I haven't worked with Andras. Somebody asked me this recently, actually. I don't know why. Richard, I think you missed most of it. We locals were the most brainwashed at the time. Yeah, but I moved here with my parents in 1982, so I would have been here when that was going on. Could you actually scroll properly, please, computer? Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness. Okay. Do not go to the demonicparadise.fandom.com to find out about your demons. It's just gaming stuff. Seems to have really good stuff on there. Can't find the bloody page anymore. Sorry. Oh wait, sorry. No, that's also another rubbish. No, sorry. Don't know. I haven't worked with Andros. Right, let's carry on. Richard. I think you missed. Oh, yeah. Yolandi's Satanic Panic was big. Old Rodney Seal used to go to schools preaching about the evil of metal music. He wasn't happy with us. We laughed at him. I was a punk during that stage. I don't remember any of the Satanic Panic stuff. I don't remember any Rodney Seal or anything like that. Anyway. John Bible isn't a book. It never was. It's called an anthology. Yep, true. Or fiction. Yep. Some people call it fiction. Tanka, may I suggest a movie that deserves a deep analysis? Yelan. It's an African movie. I shall put it on my list. Is it one that can go on to my review list. A young man with magical powers journeys to his uncle to request help in fighting his sorceress. Ooh. 1987. Mali. Alright. Cool. Right. Let me just call this up. Because we're going to put it on the review list. This coming month, July, I'm doing Starvaker, Gwen, and the Hallow. So we'll put Yelan over there. Was it 1987? Okay. Thanks for that. Celeste, Yolandi, say now in regard to my trauma, I would rather be a spawn of Satan. That is what I was called and told I was going to the downstairs. Yeah, the problem is people like that, they're just disgusting. It really is. You know, I've got a bit of a rise of Christians saying turn to Jesus and what's wrong with you people on my comments at the moment again. I just delete them. Cuckoo, Elam movie is very magic. Cool. Definitely watch that. John Uncle Lee, I was born in 87, understand? Yes, I was focusing on a lot at the time. Yes, sorry. I moved here in 82, so we did when you were born. Yeah, some old fucking fart. Okay, Castle Lee, any advice working with Saturnian, Luciferi, Ceres, Maimon, Soul? I was asked to work with all these energies to sort out a personal issue. That's a lot. You got planetary Saturnian and Sun in there. Saturnian would be... Saturnian I can understand sorting out personal issues from an organizational perspective. And also sometimes you need to leave behind aspects, kill them off type of thing. And it needs to be a surgical strike or a surgical severance of that thing in your personal life and remove it. And that can be very Saturnian. Sun is very much about yourself, it's your ego, it's about self-healing, all that stuff. So yeah, definitely understand that. Luciferi or Luciferian energy would be very much about bringing the light, about gnosis, knowledge. Maimon can be... Now I've got all my associations screwed up. A Maimon is east in some grimoires, not in all grimoires. But if it's eastern, you can associate that with Lucifer as well. Ceres, I'm not too sure about Ceres myself. As far as I know, that's just a harvest deity. Let me just double check on a Maimon. I've got my correspondences right. Yes, often referred to as one of the kings or rulers of spirits, specifically associated with the direction of the east. That's in, as I said, that's in some systems. It's not all systems, because in some grimoires, Orient is associated with the east. So therefore, see, in some systems, a Maimon is under the rule of Prince Belial within this context. You know, it might be a really good, funny specifically to a Maimon though. I was going to say get the book Joseph Peterson's Gomorian Veren. He's got a second edition out, which I need to actually get hold of myself. For that, in relation to a main one, anyway. It's got notes about a main one. Oh, coming back to Kerry. Kerry, you mentioned Agrippa in relation to the Ars Goetia. There is the mention in Agrippa of the four kings, Orient, Paimon, Egan, and Maimon. But I think that's probably about it in relation to the Goetia. So, you know, apart from general observations of magic itself, I don't think there's really much there. Where am I? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that helps Castle or at all. Ivan, these last few months, my relationship with Lucifer has grown immensely. I feel that he is unlocking all of the Goetia spirits for me. It's been amazing. Yeah, Lucifer can do that. As I say, it's kind of illuminating the path that you're walking on. So if you specifically the Goetia you're working with, then you know, I personally find that if you're working with a group of spirits in a particular grimoire, like the Goetia, you tend to be, they tend to be available to you, all of them available to you. You might not work with all of them, obviously, because there's 72 of them, and a lot of them just have offices and aspects that you have absolutely no use for. But they tend to be, if you're working with some of them, they all tend to be like available to you. You know, they'll make themselves known to you if you need them, which is kind of a handy little thing. But you know, Baba, how do you talk to the dead? Depends which dead it is. If it's the ancestors, I tend to go to the ancestral realm. If it's dead that are hanging around, they will either come to me, because I'm actually a psychopomp, so they'll usually come to me, but I'll go to the graveyard, and I'll just sit and talk to them there. It's the same as talking with spirits, though. Land spirits, nature spirits, gods, goddesses. Might find there's a slight difference, but it's the same type of communication. It could be about feelings, emotions, impressions that you get, or it could be visions that you are given. They can talk to you in dreams. So it's very similar to, you know, talking with spirits. Zanka Cuckoo, yes, mostly. Oh, that's the movie. Okay. Randy at Celeste was called Satanist Slut. I was pushed in front of a car by a person that was in school with me. I understand completely. Yeah, no, people are quite disgusting. Humanity is just disgusting, mostly. Apart from us, we're the good people. Paul, hello Paul. Thoughts on the Gnostic myths about the demiurge being a creator? How do you see the genesis of humanity? I'm definitely not a Gnostic. I think their views are very interesting, but it's definitely not anything that I can relate to. Paul. You know, it gives us the idea that there is one ruling deity, the demiurge. I mean, beyond the demiurge, but yeah, it's just this good and bad thing. It's just too dualistic for me. Let's put it that way. So didn't go down that avenue. I explored it for a bit, but then just didn't gel. Kerry, Yaldabaoth demiurge, and also any thoughts on Yaldabaoth? I think he's a bloody idiot. Honestly. He's an egotistical maniac. He thinks that he is the creator of all things, and he's just a little child with its nappy on. Really, so that's my impression of Yolabaoth and Demiurge anyway. Jono, I'm Gnostic. I believe the universe has a consciousness, which is how astrology and tarot can work. Share the space with Bard, Einstein, and Gandhi. Yeah. There are a variety of different viewpoints on Gnosticism as well. I mean, the anti-cosmic Gnosticism is just crazy severe, you know. You know, it's interesting. Not my cup of tea, as they say. Kenneth, this music makes me want to summon the Dark Force universe. Really? Oh, Kenneth. Hello, Kenneth. I didn't see you there. Thanks for joining. What were we playing before this? Oh, it's scattered, so I don't know what it was. Castle, yes, you have helped me understand. Okay, good stuff. Richard, Incubus, Succubus needs to be played more often. That song was great. Well, that was playing just now. What are you talking about the other day when we were playing the song? Cuckoo, shouldn't the combination of directions with elements depend on where you live? The most water in the north, for example. It can. This is why, you know, I've been trying to put across for a while now that we have the ceremonial magic alignment with the elements in the directions. Air in the east, I'm going to talk northern hemisphere, it switches with the north and south though. But air in the east, then you would have fire in the south, water in the west, and earth in the earth in the north. That's, you know, people who come into the path and usually get introduced to it with Neo Wicca or something like that. That's what they find, or modern demonology. That's the association they usually find until they go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then they find that the elements are not fixed; they are mutable. They move depending on what you're doing. You can move them around. You can align them to your physical association. So yes, if most of your water's in the north, place water in the north. You might want to place. You said you're in Poland, so you might want to place fire in the south, for instance, because that's where the equator is, so it gets hotter at that point. Then you're left with earth and air. So do you have a larger body of land on one of those sides? Place earth there, and the opposite side will obviously be air. So you can definitely align the elements with your physical location. Cuckoo, Incubus, Succubus, Heart of Lilith. That's the song we were playing the other day. Yeah. Celeste. Okay, so I have a question, as I have seen Haberim aim to be another name for Satan in S. Connolly's work. I haven't seen that actually. That's interesting. Yeah, well, like Cuckoo said, being Satan is just a job. And we are all Satans. That's my viewpoint, really. This is going to differ. My viewpoint is going to differ from, like, Connolly's and Satanists and all other people. And I think everybody's view on what Satan is or who Satan is becomes different. I have worked with a figure or an entity that is called Satan many years ago. It's like King of the Earth type of entity. But my viewpoint is that we are the Satans, the adversaries. We go against the grain of society, and we make our own rules, and therefore we are the Satans. But I don't really associate a single entity with this Satan figure, except for the Christian Satan. That's a singular entity which has been personified. They decided to create that. That's their creation, and therefore I don't have anything to do with that because I'm non-Christian. Some people have reclaimed that. That's cool. That's their own thing. But yeah, no, my viewpoint's kind of different. But I haven't actually seen that, to be honest. It's very curious. Yoli, speak about your sub. Oh right, okay. So I'll put a link in here, okay, as well. I created a subreddit for punk magic. If anybody's interested in the punk magic thing, I'll put a link to it here. It's going to be in the description of all my videos. So if you don't get there now, you can watch at the moment the shorts, because I've scheduled all this month's videos like at the beginning of last month. So that probably still got the old description, but if anybody's interested in the punk magic thing, there's the link to the subreddit. Thank you, Andy. Castle, Andy, are you talking the spirit world purple and black, and also Saturn or Jupiter Zeus? I'm confused about that. Are you talking the spirit world purple and black? Yeah, I'm not sure what that's in reference to, Castle, sorry. Not sure Yolandi does either. Paul, indeed, I also see Satan as more of a title description, which is applicable to the entire demonic host because of their adversarial role. Humans too, yes. Yeah. As I said, I mean, this is going to come down to personal worldview, personal interpretation, and things like that. And it depends where you stand. I mean, for a Satanist, for instance, a theistic Satanist especially, they're going to take that Christian Satan and make it their god, and just reverse all of the Christian stuff. It's still locking into a Christian worldview, but they're happy with that. That's fine with them. That's fine with me. They can do what they want. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's the Satan is it's a word. It's it's something somebody is, and this is the biggest thing I think when it comes to this whole concept of Satan and Satan, is that so the Christians created this entity called Satan, and they just lumped everything that they don't like in there. Even if they don't like the new toothpaste they bought, they're probably going to call it evil, and therefore it becomes Satan. So they kind of lumped everything that is not of their faith into this idea, into this personification. But if you then go back in biblical history, it comes from the word Satan, which is adversary, and angels were considered to be Satan. So, how do we figure that into the whole thing? I don't think they actually thought about that when they, came up with this rubbish. But yeah, anyway. Rant and rave. Kenneth, same idea goes with angel, just the title. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, angel really comes from the Greek word which means messenger. So, Jono, it's difficult discussing Gnosticism, lots of beliefs jammed in there. That is the biggest problem. So many people believe so many different things just within Gnosticism itself. I might as well say I believe in Mother Earth and Father Time because it's the same thing to me that the Hebrews did. Figure something out though. God will take a shambok to anyone. Don't know about that. Yeah, again that's going to come back to worldview. Yeah. Ivan, do you have any experience with Liba Resh and ritual? Is it powerful? I'm thinking of adding it to my rituals. It's it is actually a very interesting, and it is a powerful ritual to do. I did do it a long time ago. back in the day when I was going through my Golden Dawn and Thelemic phase. And yes, it's a very good thing. And I actually include well, it's kind of a personalized, shorter version of this now. I believe that it's very important to recognize the sun, and especially the rising sun. Interestingly enough, and I don't have any links or anything to share with you, unfortunately, but I do know there was a conference recently, and one of the people was talking about the personality of the sun. Apparently, I can't even remember how they worded it or put it across, but the sun actually has personality, has ego almost. And by saying, there's this idea that by all of these thousands and thousands of people around the world throughout history who have been saying good morning to the sun, actually makes it come up and makes it happy. I mean, I know we've got the revolving sun, or Earth revolving around the sun and all that stuff, and all that whatnot, but it was just interesting to hear that the sun has personality, and we say good morning to it, and that's why it shines, type of thing. Yes, the Earth might revolve around the sun and whatnot. The sun can go out. Why not? It's not very happy. Sure, it can stop blazing. But yeah, no, it's just an interesting concept. So yeah, there's definitely worth within the Liberash rituals. And it was practiced, before Golden Dawn and everything, I believe it was practiced by the Egyptians. It's also practiced by the Hindus, by the yogis, the sun salutations, so that goes back thousands of years. So cultures have always recognized the sun, and at least, it might not be the 4 phases of the day, but they've at least recognized the rising of the sun, and saying good morning to the sun. So yeah, very potent stuff. Yolandi, can you play some Enya's and her sister Moya Brennan's music some night? Also some Enigma. Okay, I'll have a look at the Enya playlist. Might have all of those on. We'll do it next week. Just give me a reminder if I forget. Cuckoo, I definitely have the most Russia Earth in the East. Yeah, so yeah, okay. So then your air would be in the West. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Unless you... Yeah, no, I wouldn't place fire in the West. Yeah, no, fire... I would think fire would be more on the south of the equator. Then you got water in the north. Earth in the east, and then air in the west, yeah. This is what I say, and even then, what you can actually do is you can take those 4 positions with the elemental placements, and then actually combine elements. So, I can't think of an example right now. But let's say you wanted to work with a combination of water and air. Something relating to the mind in its totality. So air would be the conscious mind and water would be the unconscious mind. Then you can, shift everything. So air then moves into the north position. You've got 2 layers. So you've got the outer layer, which is what we've just said now, which is your physical location. And then you've got the elements again inside there, and you've turned it. So then you have a relationship with fire and air in the west, because you've twisted that. And then water and earth in the east, type of thing. And, it's all so many things you can do with the elements, and twisting them into different positions and overlapping, and there's just so many things you can experiment with. So, yeah, go crazy, go wild, see what works and what doesn't. Carrie Lee, I really struggle with ceremonial magic due to Christian reference. I sincerely believe Agaras comes before the church. Yeah, that's fine. You know, because ceremonial magic is very Christian based. It's got a hell of a lot of Christian influence. I mean, Hermetic Kabbalah really kind of originated or grew out of Christian Kabbalah. So there's a huge Christian influence there. Kenneth, Heaven, are you doing the 4 adorations as well? Oops. Yeah, Kenneth into all the Golden Dawn and Thelema stuff at the moment. Castle thought she was talking about purple colour. So, oh, okay, fine, no problem. Yeah, kind of wonder if because of the fear and reference to Satan, if an egregore is created as they're definitely an egregore. As I said, they have this duality of good versus evil, so it's God and Satan. So everything which is not part of God becomes part of Satan. And this became an egregore. I mean, even the God, the Christian God, the modern Christian God is an egregore. It's got nothing to do with the Hebrew God or what took the Hebrews through the desert or even before that. Or it's just an egregore now. And at the same time, then you look at every denomination, which has their own slight differences in belief. And you've created another egregore within the larger egregore, and then within those denominations you've got all of the various churches, and each of those churches have their own little beliefs within that denomination, and therefore they create their own tiny little egregore within their church. So it's egregore within egregore within egregore within egregore within egregore, etc., etc., etc. But it's the largest and most potent, powerful egregore that we know today is the Christian God. So, I think it's weakening. It has been weakening over the past several decades. Don't know how long, but it's been weakening if you ask me. The Christians everything for Legion as well. Yeah, but I don't think they know what they're talking about half the time. Cuckoo, how do you cut yourself off from egregores if you want to work only with spiritual beings instead of synthetic egregores? Well, you have to remember that we are exposed to egregores all the time. There's egregores everywhere. If you go to your local library, there's an egregore for the library itself. All the people that collect there to read books and whatever they're doing in the library, they are collectively doing or believing in the same thing. And there's an egregore, there's an energy that gets created, that gets generated, and that becomes an egregore. So we are exposed to egregores left, right, and center. How do you disconnect from them? There's a great book. I'm going to recommend a fantastic book that actually talks about this very specifically. Egregores. Yeah, it's called. Let me put a link as well. It's called Egregores, the Occult Entities That Watch Over Human Destiny by Mark Stavish. It is a brilliant book. Let me grab it'll give me a bloody Amazon.com link. If you're on Everand, it's on Everand as well. I remember reading it there. What the bloody hell? There we go. But yeah, disconnecting from an egregore is a long process actually. So you're going to take some time with it, and if you're going to keep coming back to the trappings that you find, and you just keep reminding yourself every time you kind of realize I'm still connected to it, just break off again. Okay, I'm just going to put that link in because it won't give me a short link. Okay. Hit that book there. Yeah. And, you know, if you're interested in the idea of egregores, and I think we all need to actually educate ourselves on egregores because, as I said, we are exposed to them on a continual basis. It's a very important thing to understand. So, grab that book, it's brilliant. Right, Ivan, thank you, it's a pleasure. Cuckoo, is it even possible to distinguish one from the other? Oh, you mean the egregores themselves? Yeah, it could be. Or we're talking about God and Satan. Yeah, not sure about that. Probably the same thing anyway. I think the biggest thing we need to remember with egregores is that we, over thousands of years, we've created them, left, right, and centre. You'll find that most of the gods, the spirits that we work with, are egregores now. So there's not really any kind of connection with the original source, almost. You can. I'm saying you can't, but I think you'll find that it's the spirits have kind of become a collective thing, and I mean you can see this actually in, I think Lilith is one of the better examples here. You know, if you go through the history, and some people, I do myself, I go back to the Sumerian Lilu and the Lili, the wind demons, which were a collective. They weren't a singular entity, they were a collective of spirits. They formed into Lilitu, and there was also the connection with Lamashtu. But then you got Lilitu and became Lilith, and became this entity which would eat children, would kill children in the womb, and all of this stuff. So there's a huge association with death of children. But then in this modern time, Lilith is very different, is a force of feminism, of standing up for yourself as a woman. You know, so you've got this, I think we've kind of created, from the original mold, it's become these different aspects of these different entities, and they are egregores. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Egregores are potent, they're powerful beings. You know, don't think that because they are not the original god that they are useless. Absolutely not. They're freaking powerful. But yeah, I think we're just exposed to them all the time. No getting away from egregores. So I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Let me try and get through this. Kerry, I believe 72 are ancient beings dating back to the Jinn. It's debatable because the 72 spirits of the Goetia, it's actually a modern text, and it was constructed from a variety of different grimoires before that. So you probably find that if you go back to the original sources, they were not 72. Were they Jinn? Yes, I believe they were. You know, in relation to King Solomon, they were referred to as Jinn. But at the same time, again, egregores. The 72 spirits of the Ars Goetio are egregores, we could say. Are they Jinn? Yeah, absolutely. This is where the paradoxes kind of get fun. But yeah, Jono, Book of Enoch, it was the ancient Sumerians who created the dualism which informed the Abrahamic religions. Enoch says Hasatan was the angel who said, if humans can sin, then why can't we? Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, then you go to the Islamic faith and back to the Jinn. I mean, Hasatan was in those stories was Iblis. He was the king of the Jinn. and when man was created, Adam was put on earth, and God told all of the angels to bow to his new creation. Iblis, or Satan, said, no, not going to do that. So he was kicked out of heaven. Same story at the end of the day. But yeah. But, I don't know. Yolandi, I never say good morning, not a morning person. I just say morning or hello. Okay. Kenneth, I went to church this morning and they were talking about the 72 disciples, 72 ancient beings, 72 daemons of the Goetia, 72 angels of the Shem Hamparash. Carl Jung would say the 72 archetypes. Yeah, probably, yeah. This number is not a mistake. I don't think it's a mistake, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think that, you know, it's a bit like, let's say, for instance, I'm creating a book of spirits, and I do da 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 da, and I go, okay, that's it, and then I count them all up, and it comes out to 71. I think, it would be cool if it had 72, because then it would tie in with the Shem. Let's just add another one. You know, at the end of the day, it could be that sort of thing. That could have happened. I don't know. I wasn't there when the dude wrote it, so you know. John Kenneth, mark my words, whether they know they are doing it or not, the church he went to is actively practicing magic, mostly to milk the congregation. I'm sure that's wrong about this, but yeah, no, everybody's practicing magic at some level. Dragon, hello Dragon. Yolandi, I once wanted to join that science cult. Then I saw Tom Cruise jumping on Oprah's couch and my inner voice said, nope, don't do that. Yeah, no, very bad place. Jono, hi Dragon. Yeah, I think Dragon hasn't been around for a while, but you will enjoy the conversation, yes. Dragon, how do you do energy manipulation, and can you suggest some exercise? What do you mean by energy manipulation, first of all? Are you talking about moving it around? Are you talking about creating an energy ball? Or are you talking about changing it, transmuting it from one thing into another? That would be manipulation. You know, let me know what kind of manipulation you're talking about. Oops, wait. Cody, do you recommend the 4 books? Yes, absolutely. It's one of the, you know, it's foundational kind of readings. If you're into that, I mean, some people will just not. Some people just can't get through it. I mean, I would definitely recommend some of the earlier translations though, because Donald Tyson's translation is really good. There was somebody else, I can't remember the bloody name now, but Donald Tyson's translation is great because of the amount of notes he's added to explain various things within the books. Also, the 4th book also is speculative. Some people say, or a lot of people say, that he didn't write it, Agrippa didn't actually write it, it was one of his students who, at that time, you would write a book and dedicate it to your teacher type of thing. But go through, have a look on Esoterica. He did a 14 part examination of Agrippa and the books. Brilliant. He went into Agrippa's history to get a kind of a background of who Agrippa was and where he was when he was writing the book, from the point where he wrote the original to when he actually, you know, finished it and published it, rewrote it, I think. But yeah, go on to Esoterica and I'll look for that. Brilliant series. Jono Dragon, for anything about protection, get Dion Fortune's Psychic Self-Defense. For general stuff, get Nat Oran's Psychic Witch. But if you're really serious, get Bard's Gold. Jason Miller also has great exercise. Yeah, I was going to say for protection, I'd get Jason Miller's book, Protection and Reversal Magic myself. Sadhex, hello Sadhex. In previous you told us about black magic, about very disadvantaged person doing magic. If magic has strong rage over some area of their life, how can we use this emotion in magic? This emotion sometimes is very intense. Can you recommend topics to research or books to read on the subject? How to make practice safe so I wouldn't draw on astral parasites with my low vibrational state or fall into spiritual psychosis. So the best thing here is just to go through your foundational work. Do your meditation and keep up your meditation. It's like a muscle. If you stop doing meditation and trance work and concentration exercise and all that stuff, the muscle kind of weakens. So keep up the meditation work and whatnot. But your protection magic, your cleansing magic, your warding, all of that stuff, right? That's going to help you with keep away the astral parasites. It's going to also higher your vibrational state because you are meditating. Just simply sitting down, or however it looks for you, however meditation looks for you, just simply meditating and working on your own energy body. It doesn't need to be sitting down still. You can do yoga or qigong or tai chi or tensegrity or Falun Dafa or whatever movement exercise you want to do, but it works on the energy body, and that gets the energy moving properly. Your vibrational state rises, that gets higher. That's going to help the astral parasites in general. If you want to actually take the pain, the rage, and use it in your magic, this falls under the aspect of energy manipulation. There you go, back to dragon stuff. What you need to do, and this is going to take practice and it's going to take time, so I don't think you're going to get it right first, straight away. You have to control the emotion, so you allow it to well up, the rage to just come forward, okay? And the way I used to do, I don't really do it very much anymore actually. The way I used to do this was I used to get down on all fours and I used to start growling and barking and feeling like I'm a dog or a wolf or something like that, and getting into a state of rage, and then I would let that come up and it would overcome me, and it would just be this ball of energy would just generate around me. It would be intense. And then what you need to do is you need to control it. So you need to bring all of that energy back into a small concentrated ball, and you need to hold it but disconnect from it at the same time, and then you throw it at whatever spell work you're doing or whatever you're doing. You throw it at it and you put it into it, but you can transmute that energy as well. So you build up this intense rage and you bring it into this small little ball, concentrate it. You can transmute that energy into whatever you want, so it can become healing, it can become whatever you want, but it's that generation of the energy which you're looking for, and that's the rage. Rage is easy, anger is easy. It's the easiest emotion to generate, to create, and just call up straight away, which is why it's very, very useful, very, very potent and powerful within spellwork and magic. But yeah, definitely do your foundational work beforehand and get that all sorted out, because it doesn't matter what magic you're doing, you need to do your foundational work. It's that important. Alright, Kerry was shocked that Corpus Hermeticum was sourced for spirituality for Ask Otia reading by a Reddit mod. Lost you there, sorry, what do you mean? Shocked that Corpus Hermeticum was sourced for spirituality for Ask Otia reading. Okay, sorry, you're gonna have to help me out there. Dragon, so are these egregores different from the original, like a different being and personality, or are they the same being who undergone a change? It depends which one we're talking about. If we think of, let's start with the archetype of the horn god. This would be the mold where all of the horn gods came from. And we have Pan, we have Carninos, we have Hern, all of these various horn gods throughout every culture, all history, but they all became different beings. So, you know, Pan became this horny figure that would rape. I mean, a lot of the texts actually talk about him raping the nymphs, the water spirits, and you know, became the protector, and became the god that you would call to you know, protect animals, protect the forest. But all of these relationships to Pan were possibly egregores. As thousands and thousands of years have gone by, what people originally saw Pan as in one culture, which then moved across to a different culture, and then through time, completely different to what we probably consider Pan to be now. I mean, how do we translate Pan? The all. But that's the word Pan from Greek, means all. But the original, before Pan, as the all became popular, it was Pa, from the Greek word Pa, which means shepherd. So, you know, again, we've kind of, these are all kind of, we can consider all of these to be egregores, because they are generations or creations of a particular being by a large group of people, thousands and thousands of people, over hundreds of years. And they become these powerful beings because people have been putting their energy into this egregore over and over again. It still has a tie back to the original Pan, and which has a tie back to the original archetype or mold of the horn god. So yeah, you know, they're potent, they're really, really powerful entities, and they are, we can say they are the original being as well, because, you know, we're starting to get into the area of categorizing here. We shouldn't be categorizing. No. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to put into words sometimes, but there's nothing different between them, really. You know, Andy Carey, I'm always careful who I listen to. No, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Lost that one again. Castle, I need to catch up on the chat. I don't know if this will send hex. I don't know if this will help. I was taught to have negative emotions like rage and anger is bad for practice, but it's also an imbalance of your liver. I don't know if it's an imbalance of your liver. I think I've heard that though. But yeah, I don't know. Ivan, I grew up in. I mean, coming back to. I don't think we should ignore rage and anger because it's bad for practice or it's a negative emotion. They're not negative emotions. Rage and anger are definitely not negative emotions. If you are in a situation where your life is being threatened, rage and anger are definitely not negative emotions. They are very, very positive, and they are necessary and needed. So yeah, we've got to be careful about this polarity again, you know, the dualities of things. Ivan, I grew up in charismatic Christian church and I saw lots of strong magic throughout the years. Saw people really give their lives to pastors of the church who became little gods. Oh yes, absolutely. They become almost living egregores themselves at the end of the day. Dragon, seeing energy, manipulating it, and cause change with it. And I've been busy, but here I am, and I like it. Okay. Um, one thing you'll probably, I think what you'll probably find most benefit from is actually creating an energy ball between your hands, and then you can go on from there and do lots of other things. If you've actually got somebody to practice with, it becomes even better, because what you can do is once you can create an energy ball between your hands, and you feel it, it's like you feel the pressure, it kind of pushes your hands away almost. Then you can push intent into it, whether that's love or healing or anger or whatever. And if, as I say, if you're working with somebody else, you can throw it at them and see if they have an instant change in feeling or emotional. You know, imprint like an image into it, throw it at them and see if they get the image. You know, telepathically or psychically. But then you can play around with that. You can then take a candle and you can start moving the flame with pushing the energy out of the palms of your hands, for instance. That's kind of energy manipulation, which you might find quite useful. Because then what you can do is you can actually imbue the energy that's being created between your hands with intent, with an element. You can breathe an element in and push it into the ball, for instance. And then you can put that into talisman or an amulet or an egregore, or a servitor. You can add it to sigils, all of this stuff. So yeah, so I would say practice between your hands. I've lost it again. Here we go. No, wait. Here we go. Sedex. At Castle the Mage. I have to practice magic anyway. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, it's definitely the thing we need to all come back to, and even people like me who've been practicing for long enough, I still come back to the basics and the foundational work because it's extremely important. And if you stop doing it, you're just gonna kick yourself in the foot, really. It's important. Cuckoo, I'm a low vibrational being, but it is also the fault of the place. I live in a cemetery, in the place of a drained lake where people drowned long ago. Wonder about the possible dangers during more serious rituals. Maybe I should focus on necromancy, or maybe just the opposite, to have the protection of solar spirits. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you call yourself a low vibrational being. I mean, you can be in a cemetery in a place where the dead are, and you can make your vibrational state whatever level you want it to be. It doesn't mean you still can't interact with the dead or spirits or whatever you want to do. It just all depends on what work you're doing. It's got nothing to do with the place you're in. But yeah, I mean, if you live in a cemetery, necromancy would be a fantastic practice. The dead can be extremely good allies. They can be fantastic allies. They can be incredibly protective spirits. And I'm not just talking about the ancestors. I'm talking about dead, and especially if you have the close connection with the cemetery, it would be fantastic. Castle Sedex balances key regulator of your practice without order. You have sand for a foundation. Yep. You got to build solid foundations, otherwise the house just falls down afterwards. Yolandi, that's why I'm still not doing magic. My mind isn't in the right space. It is starting to get better, but I'm not taking any chances at the moment. No, that's a good thing. Yeah, I mean, apart from doing the foundational work, if you do need to deal with mental health, get it sorted out first. That's not going to be much benefit to you at the end of the day again. If you still need to get that sorted. Castle Qigong will help make your heart and mind intention to do magic. I don't use emotions, but my mind and heart intentions. Yep, it's another way of doing it. Oh no, hang on, my chat just skipped again. Jono and Ivan, scariest story I ever heard was from a magic teacher. She got tricked into going to a church service, and she could see the black tentacles coming out of the preacher and capturing people. Oh yeah, no, they're vampires. Not all of them, but A lot of them are. There's some good ones out there. This is what I say. I mean, we've got like good blanket statements about Christianity. There are still some good people out there. And there's some shit people in the occult communities as well. So, you know, it goes both ways. Fun magic. Early, that's very software review. Well done. It comes back when it's supposed to. Yeah, yeah. Carry out Yolandi. How your meds working? That's beast. Well on. Also put into sleep. John, I don't know what music this is. Throw on Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Robert Johnson, anything really. I like the music, thank you very much. We've had an Enya and Enigma request for next week, so we're going to do that. If you're here, remind me, I'll do a Nirvana, Foo Fighters, Robert Johnson. Oh, you know what we should do? Oh, I've got tips now. We've got to do some blues. I think I played this somewhere. I'm very curious what this has got on it actually. Oh wait, what was that movie? What was that movie that came out recently? With all the blues stuff. Hang on, I saw it just now. Sinners. That was a brilliant movie. I love that movie. Great. I'm not sure. Well, I do understand why the vampire stuff came into it, but right. Blues, some good old blues. Sadex. I mostly swear alone to express excessive emotions. Barking sounds quite difficult. Try concentrate and try to make it serious. Oh no, yeah, no, it can be. If you start growling and you take on the persona of a wolf, it can be quite non-serious. I've got your advice and I'll try, thank you. However you can do it, however you can well up that rage, that's what I'm really getting at. I do it through, you know, getting on all fours and growling. Works for me. Kerry, hoping to help. Okay, what's I gonna go? Pill. Sleepy. Cuckoo, I call myself a low vibrational being because the energy others feel for me is heavy and overwhelming. My friend once almost vomited when I asked him to spread the tarot for me, and my girlfriend is having seizures next to me. Not pleasant. What work are you doing? Or what daily practices do you have? Do you do meditation? Do you do something like Qigong or yoga? When you said you're following a dog Jian path, so I could assume that's full of meditation. Right, Dzogchen. Yeah, just let me know what I mean. If you are doing, you're following a bond path. You've not been exposed to the what were they called? It's a group of what we call demonic beings in Bond path, Bond Buddhism, which are rather intense and could actually cause that heaviness. If you've been exposed to them, you might want to have a look at getting disconnected from them. Just trying to skim through some text here, but not really finding anything. So it's just nature spirits. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. If you've got a... I'm going to assume you've got a teacher, especially on that kind of path. Just go and ask them, I think. Sinners. Yes, it was Sinners. John Cuckoo, I'm sorry, that sounds awful. Try to stay strong. Currently covered in astral parasites. Take baths. When I get like this, the water draws the stuff out of me. Add some... am I buffering? Oh, bloody hell. Why am I buffering? Okay, don't think I'm buffering anymore. It looks alright. Jono. No, I'm not buffering now. If I'm not buffering, add some Epsom salts, a cup of Epsom salts to the water as well. So it draws out the negative energies, but it's also good physically. Alright, I don't know if I'm buffering still. Let's see. Let's see what my performance metrics say. Oh no, I got really good. It's 0.4% dropped frames. That's not bad at all. We are motoring through at a 2,391 kilobytes per second. Only using 12% of my CPU. See, I've got all the good metrics here now. So it's YouTube's problem, not me. It's bloody YouTube. Coming through fine, just blurry. Oh, okay, no, that's just me. I'm generally blurry. Right, so I think I need to stop drinking some water again. Ugh. Okay. Lee, are you adept at pathworking? If you are referring to the original form of pathworking, which is moving through the paths on the Tree of Life, no, not really. No, just not. Cuckoo. When I was a child, I met a bioenergy therapist. I remember that he saw red energy around my hips, which he was unable to cut off. Doesn't red energy usually refer to pain? If it's in your hips. I don't know. Going into areas that I haven't really been into myself. Sad Hex, I plan to subscribe to your Patreon. Would it grant me access to your members only videos on YouTube? Like Red Meal. No, not if you're on Patreon, but did I do a members only video on YouTube like about Red Meal? That one might have been really old. I mean, I can if you want me to move that over, I can always add it onto Patreon. If there's anything specific you want me to move into the members area, that's doable. So yeah, I'd rather people sign up on Patreon, to be honest. It's just better than YouTube or YouTube members area. But yeah, if you do sign up and there is a video that you've seen which is members only, just let me know and I'll move it across. Actually, the red meal video may have been connected to the Egregore project, because I think there was one of the, this is a long time ago, one of the spirits that I created I did a red meal with. That might be the one you're talking about. That's the Egregore project. And that's pre-Patreon. But again, if you join the Egregore project, if it was part of the Egregore project, and if you join the Egregore project on Patreon, then just let me know and I'll move it across. No, it's fine. If there is a video, an old video on YouTube that I haven't, that was pre-Patreon, and it's something you want to see, I'll gladly move it across. It's just picking up a link and putting it onto Patreon, so no problem. So Yolandi, you shouldn't be drinking hot chocolate at the moment. It's not going to help your stomach. You know, funny enough, it does. I know it's chocolate isn't good for acid reflux and stuff, but it's not really acid reflux I've got. It's I was told by chemists and doctors it is called dyspepsia, which is another word for indigestion apparently, and a lot of people separate acid reflux from indigestion and other people don't. I don't know. It's just words. Mine is the air gets trapped and my kind of like my stomach stops working. You know when your stomach's gurgling and all the air's moving around? That's good for me. I will need that. That's what I want, because when that stops, that means all the air's gotten stuck in one place, and it just keeps going and building and building. It creates pressure and pressure and pressure, and it becomes very painful. But apparently the hot chocolate actually helps with that. So yeah, it's not good for acid reflux, but apparently it helps for this specific thing. So I don't know. Just bloody. But I'm going to stop eating and drinking altogether. It's just a pain in the ass. Johnny, thanks, Uncle. Yeah, get infested sometimes. Problems with having a big heart. Learn how to get them off. The problem is Luna learned how to astral travel. When she touches them, makes her sick. Yeah, what you could also do, you've probably done it already, what you could also do is create an amulet, protective amulet. You could, actually a really good one is to create a servitor. And every time an astral parasite gets attached to you, or tries to attach to you, it gets attached to the servitor. So the servitor is almost like a dummy of yourself. And then you program that servitor to take that parasite, the negative energy from the parasitic entity, and absorb it. And then transmute that energy into something good, like healing or happiness or whatever. And you can either do that and feed that happiness or whatever healing to you, or don't even worry about that. Just let the servitor just absorb those parasites and negative energies the whole time, and it just feeds the servitor. That's what it does. If you're picking up a lot, it's going to feed a lot. So keep it under control. But yeah, servitor would be fantastic. Andy, I don't think you did a video on the red meal. I do remember speaking about it, but that was a public one. But as I say, I think that members only red meal video was part of the Egregore project, because I did a red meal. Dragon, do we need to do something special, offering of water, sugar, or something else before working with Egregore spirits in Patreon? You can do if you want. There's nothing specific at this point. They're still growing and stuff like that. But offerings are obviously going to help. Water is fantastic with everything. Just I give water to all of the spirits every morning, because you can imbue the water with intention, love, respect, honor, etc., and then give it to the spirits. And it's such a conductor, such a good conductor that it's really good. But yeah, the egregores within the egregore project, whatever offerings you want to give them, if you're working with any of them, I do an offering to all of them, and I say good morning to all of them every day. So that's kind of my offering, my energy giving process. Castle Lee, there is a Neigong Qigong exercise that will help you with your stomach and digestive system issues. You send it over. I do Qigong every morning. I'm actually doing the 5 elements at the moment, and it's actually really helping. Except for this morning, I think it's gone now. But for the past 2 weeks, even when I wasn't having an attack, I was just underneath the ribs over here. If I breathed deeply, it felt uncomfortable, a bit painful. But that's gone now this morning, so that's good. But when I do my morning stuff, I do the 5 elements Qigong, and it would actually get rid of all of that and get everything working properly again. So Qigong is my go-to for everything. And actually, when was it? It was yesterday morning. I did my Qigong, and for some reason I had kind of like a pain, like a stabbing pain, and a nerve kind of pain in my right temple, going down here. And it was after I'd done the session, and I found it really interesting. I kind of just ran my hand just above my head, but ran it down, and it just removed the pain immediately. Qigong, brilliant. Recommend it to everybody. Cuckoo said, for digestive problems, the best solution is pickled cucumber water. You just need to strengthen your stomach acid. Yeah, I have to be careful. I do also get acid reflux, but I have to be careful about that. Pineapple is a very good one. It's got a specific enzyme in it that is exactly what I need. Papaya also have it, so yeah, I'll try to get as much of that as I can. Ivan as well, as the Goesha spirits, my ancestors are pointing me to Orishas. Okay. This has to do with my Puerto Rican heritage. Okay, if you've got it in your heritage, that's cool. I've got so many spirits I can't keep up. Yeah, no. That's the biggest problem. But if you do go down that road, try and find somebody who can actually part of the community, and see if they can actually help you, because then you'll get your. I'm not sure if the Puerto Rican refers to it as the Metet or something else, the head spirit. And yeah, that will probably help. I think it's very specifically with that. I think it's very important to actually get somebody who is in the community. Jono, I've got amulets for me, but you've given me a great idea. Servitors and amulets for Luna. Thank you. My amulets myself are strong, but I don't use them. Yeah. Yeah, definitely give something to Luna. So if she comes along and visits you astrally, she's not going to. The servitor would be great in that instance because it can follow her as well. It can be like a bodyguard, basically. And then she won't pick up the parasites. Cuckoo, Ivan, Haiti and Poland have a strong connection. Poles fought for Haiti's independence side by side, Voodoo, Santeria, etc. are not as non-white as some people think. Okay, I'm not going to touch that one on public forums because I'll get myself into lots of trouble. Yes. Jono, you say to Castle now to contact you. How's the best way to contact you? Email. Yeah, usually email. through my Gmail is usually the best. Some people actually tend to have difficulty with my me@leewjohnson.com email. So if you go to my YouTube channel and click on the email there, that will take you to the webleadev@gmail.com, and email is usually the best. Kerry, do you breathe with your diaphragm? Yes, I know. I do meditation and breathing exercises a lot of the time, so kind of do, yeah. Castle, is it on your liver side? It's it's both sides. It goes right across. Yeah. No, I've had it for years. It's something I've battled with, and it only usually comes up like once every few months, and it lasts 3 or 4 hours, and then it's gone. But this past 2 weeks, it wouldn't go away. I don't know what the hell. It was my body forcing me to change my diet, basically. But yeah, no, it's something I've battled with for a very, very long time. So I know all the tricks and what I need to do and what I need to take. Whenever it comes up, I kind of like shove everything down my throat, type of thing. Anyway, sorry, you can cup your hand and put it on your stomach and go clockwise and counterclockwise motion on it. Alright, thank you. I'll try it next time. Anything helps, because seriously, the pain I go through is unbearable. I was actually getting hot and cold sweats and nausea the other night from the pain. Alexis, like and subscribe. Well, thank you. Yes, like and subscribe. Thank you, everybody. Johnny Robert Johnson must have made a deal with the devil to make music with truth. That's what they say. Landy, congrats on 12,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Yes, I kind of actually watched it tick over and I took a screenshot of it. I don't know why 12,000 just for some reason was the goal I was going for. But anyway, Castle, there's a standing Negang where you let your hands hang down and you swing and touch your kidney points and dandy end points at the same time by separating your coccyx and hips as you swing back. Oh, is that the bear thing where you swing your arms left and right? Just try and figure out if you're swinging your arms in a different direction than I am. Setting your coccyx and hips. Yeah, I know the one where you Mimi Dima calls it hugging the bear or something like that, where you swing and you kind of slap your sides, but your arms are swinging left and right loosely. That is a very handy one, if that's the one you're talking about. Ivan, thank you, appreciate your feedback. It's a pleasure. Lexus Orishas are great. I've got only good experiences with them, though I haven't worked with them much. Yolandi, how can we discern between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation? Alright, so when it comes to why people would say we would be culturally appropriating is when we are taking aspects of a culture which do not belong to us, and we might be monetizing it. We might be claiming that we are experts in that field. We are not giving back to the community itself. We are not involved in the community at all. That would be appropriating. Cultural appreciation is to appreciate the aspects of a culture, but not abuse them. If you do find that you are in a situation where you get accepted into a community, then what happens is you are giving to the community, you are helping, you are contributing, and even then you were not originally part of the community, so you shouldn't again be taking it and monetizing it, making money off it. Again, that becomes appropriation. So it's about appreciating the culture, but not benefiting from it in a way which would degrade the culture itself. This is why colonization, became a huge big no-no, and still is, and should be now, but people still do it. Because colonization kind of came along and saw a culture and said, well, it was the white people, kind of came in and went, well, I'm a white man, therefore I can do whatever I want to. Everything that you have, everything you believe is all part of me because I just want it. That's colonization, that's appropriation, that's taking stuff that is not yours and claiming that it is. And that's just wrong. It is a bit of a slippery slope, between what is appropriation and appreciation. So it's just a question of kind of like just stopping yourself and just saying, okay, what am I actually doing here? Is it appropriating or is it not? So yeah, but it's something I think we should all be aware of, just out of respect. Yeah. You're welcome, Ivan. Kerry Lee, it might be a. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, as I said, I've had it for years. It's been diagnosed as dyspepsia. It's just indigestion, but I kind of say indigestion to people, and they go, "Oh, well, that goes in like just take a Rennie, and it's gone in 10 minutes." Not the kind of indigestion I get. Sorry. People have actually been rushed to the emergency room with dyspepsia because they thought they were having a heart attack. It just because it feels like a heart attack sometimes. Castle sounds like the Five Elements form is doing its work. It is, yeah, and it's interesting because I've always kind of stuck to the 8 brocades. And I've recently started doing the 5 elements. For some reason, I just felt like, doing that instead. And it was actually during this past 2 weeks, to be honest. And it's definitely helped, sort out some stuff. Okay, so I'll try to do a video for you, Lee, on the exercise to try and help you and send it to you. Oh, great. Okay, thanks. That would be fantastic. John, Yoli, if you want some fun, go to Discord where I discussed cultural appropriation. Oh, that was a fun time. I have no idea how my uncle kept calm. Uncle was the adult in the room. Yes, that was a very fun time. Erase that again. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lee. It's just sounds painful, and oh no, it is, but it's something we all kind of have the things we deal with. That's just mine. It's okay. I'm fine now. I'm good now though, and I'm just gonna stick to the diet that I've now been kind of forced onto. It's good. I've lost some weight. I actually lost 4 kilos in the past 2 weeks, so I needed to. So I don't know. Maybe I'll carry on losing weight now. Hope so. Jono's on Wildwood. But yeah, no, that was quite a heated debate there. Jono just wanted to hop in his car and come and beat my head in. I'm not getting involved in this conversation. I've got high blood pressure. Landy, there is a big fight starting to build in the Norse tradition. People starting to tell people who are allowed and not allowed to follow the tradition. Really? Yeah. I think obviously if it's if they're gatekeeping Nazis, then sure. Yeah, that's a bit strange actually, because heathenry and Norse tradition have always been very, very open to everybody, to all walks of life, except for the Nazis. Even though they've infiltrated and created their own little side hustle. But anyway, guess I was doing Xingyi. I think I've heard of that one. Doing it for 8 or 9 years now. Nice. I gotta say, Qigong is definitely my absolute go-to. I've tried yoga, I've tried Tai Chi, I've tried all of them. Tensegrity, Pranadafa. I'm sure there was another one. Can't remember now. Qigong. I keep coming back to Qigong. It works so well, so well. And it's so gentle as well, which is probably why I like it. Andy, it's not good to lose weight too quickly. Oh no, I know. But yeah, I had like 12 to 24 hours of pain, and I couldn't eat anything. All I could do was drink water. So I guess that kind of contributed to the weight loss. But I'll regulate now, so that's good. Castle, that's most traditions I've encountered. Andy, it's some Europeans selling Americans can't follow the Norse tradition. Really? That's weird. Problem is that you get a lot of what do we call them? Sections, not classes. Can't think of words. Groups. Suppose we can call them groups. Yeah, all different groups of particular traditions, and I don't know, maybe it's one particular group that is doing this. It just seems strange. I suppose a lot of people have. Sorry to say, everybody. A lot of people are a bit sick and tired of Americans. Although after yesterday, I think the American country is starting to pull together a bit more, which is a good thing. I mean, that No Kings rally protest yesterday. I mean, more than 1 million people in the streets. That was fantastic. That was brilliant. But yeah, I don't. Anyway, speculating. Castle, Bagua, and Xingyi with their Qigong and Neigong workout are nice. Let me just check. Bagua. I know Bagua has a mirror in Feng Shui. Yeah, the triangles. With a movement. Bagua Qigong. Okay, I'll have to go check that out. Cool. Jingyi Health Maintenance and Internal Strength Development. Dan Miller and Tim Cartmel is a good book. Okay. Thank you. I've got more to look at. I'm coming up with a different Daniel Miller here. Yeah, no, 48 Days to the Work You Love book. I think that's the same Dan Miller. Anyway, I think everybody's starting to go a bit quiet, and it's 9:30 here, so I'm probably going to wrap up now. Anybody has anything else? Yolanda, you can also drink a cup of hot water first thing in the morning. Some people say that helps. Yeah, and also put some. Actually, you know what's really good? If anybody does suffer from acid reflux, is to put some lemon juice in your water, and hot or at least lukewarm water is actually really good. First thing in the morning as well, because it actually cleanses out your system. But yeah, the lemon water actually helps with acid reflux. It neutralizes the acid. And you'd think that lemon would like have acid, but really good for you. Castle, thank you. Have a good night. Ivan, you're up, guys. Thanks so much. Pleasure. Hey, thanks for streaming, everyone. Yeah, have a good week. And see everybody. Castle, yeah, good tea. All this is jasmine, chrysanthemum, dandelion, valerian root. Numbers 1, 3, and 4. 2, 12. Alright, cool. Alright, thank you. You know what I have been taking, which is quite interesting, is it's a little herbal tablet here called Gascon. And it's got a lot of well, it's got oils, but it's got a lot of herbs that use in Indian cooking. There's one which begins with an A, and I cannot remember the name of it now. But cardamom. I'll grab the box. I'll tell you what it's next week. I can't remember now. But yeah, some really good herbs in it. It's definitely helping.